That's what makes this show so valuable.
Yeah, we're not just spewing stuff that we off the top of our head. We're bringing guys in that are smarter than us.
Consider us as your real estate concierge.
Call me all things real estate, credit, refinancing, buying a house.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
Now, Brian, you have a listing that you wanted to feature. Tell us a little bit about that.
We have a great listing that we just put on the market literally about 6 days ago. This property is located in West Roxbury, 5 Welton Road. It's a fabulous 1912 Gambrel Colonial. Offers almost just over 1,700 square feet of living area. 3/4 bedrooms. One of the rooms could be used for an office if you were going to keep it a 3-bedroom. 2 full baths. One of the things that the owners did about this home is they did quite a bit of updating, but they really did their best to keep the character of this home. It's absolutely fabulous. The asking price is $577,000. Very good price for this home.
Where's it located?
On a dead-end street.
Perfect.
That's great. I mean, that house is not going to last long. This segment, we really wanted to talk about
weed.
This craziness of medical marijuana.
Pot.
Yes, weed, pot. So just to lay a foundation, obviously the medical marijuana was legalized. There's dispensaries that have been granted licenses around the state, and if you have certain medical conditions and a doctor is going to be prescribing the administration of pot, then you can go to the dispensaries and purchase your marijuana there. But now the issue becomes that you, as a landlord, you are now allowing a tenant to smoke marijuana in your unit, and it may have an impact on other tenants. There is a conflict between what the federal law says versus what the state law has allowed.
Right.
Now, Anowsh, in your opinion, what is some of the challenges that the landlords are faced with on the insurance side?
Well, on the insurance companies, they cannot discriminate against the tenant. They look at it pretty much the same as a tenant with a big service dog or a tenant who has a big oxygen tank, in their unit. Mm-hmm. The challenges are property and life safety issues, which Skip will touch upon. One of them in particular that we are very concerned with is, I guess, the state is allowing certain tenants or patients to grow, this plant, in their unit.
Right.
Mold is always, an issue, and also these plants, they take certain amount of lights, and I think it's very strong,
right.
Lighting.
Mm-hmm.
So if the electrical system in the unit is not sufficient enough to absorb the thing for these, for these plants, there might be a fire issue as well. So before I came to that, I talked to a few insurance companies to see if they have actually paid any insurance claims directly related to the medical marijuana issues. It's so new, there's no stats yet on that. But certainly there are concerns, but we cannot discriminate.
They're a protected class. Someone that has a disability and is able to receive this medical marijuana is a protected class.
You're telling me that the insurance companies really can't discriminate, and therefore your insurance company is still going to offer you coverage.
We have to insure them, but if the property is seized by the federal government, that's not a covered insurance peril.
There's case on this, Skip. There's case law on this. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, the Caswell Motel in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, had very, very infrequent guests, people that rented their rooms, mm-hmm. and they were dealing drugs out of those rooms. There was almost no mortgage on it, which is a critical factor. And the feds, along with the local police department, went after to seize that property outright under what's called civil asset forfeiture. So if there's any criminal activity occurring in a property, your own property, even though you have nothing to do with it, don't even know about it, can be seized. And that's just a serious problem. It was won. It was won by the Institute for Justice, being the lawyers, taking on the lawyers' side, because the cost of the lawsuit was something around $2 million.
Right, and that created a very good precedence. In other words, in that case,
Yes.
I think the verdict was in favor of the landlord.
That's right, it was.
So that helps
Right.
any future landlord to be able to fight sort of the situation where
Exactly.
you can't seize my property.
Exactly.
And it's interesting that the federal government's going after landlords that have no mortgages on their property
Right.
because they have so much to lose.
We are sort of passionate about why we get up every day. So, I'd love to know sort of what's your why. What makes you tick? Why are you so successful in your industry?
Like most real estate agents, we all come from a former life. My former life was a marriage and family therapist. So I think I came by it naturally from a helping standpoint. The why is, looking at buyers and sellers out there that many times are feeling, let's face it, unfortunately, in real estate, we don't always have the best reputation as an industry. Many buyers and sellers feel slammed into properties, pushed around, and maybe not having all the information that they're looking for.
Right.
And for me, it's like, if my friends, if my family, if I'm a consumer, I want to make sure that I am represented. And we take representation of our clients, whether you're a seller or a buyer, we take that very, very seriously.
Right.
We want to make sure, many times with clients, especially buyers, we'll say, eyes wide open. As long as you know what you're getting into and we've helped you understand the lay of the land, the landscape, the values, we want you to have your eyes wide open going into that transaction. We want to be able to give that same high level of attention and service to every client. And we don't want to have to say no, that we're booked out. We can't show that listing of ours. We can't go show you that new condo or single family that just hit the market. So for us, the team approach is everything.
Now, there's no real estate transaction that's not heavily loaded with emotionally charged people. So I think you guys do an unbelievably wonderful job of managing their emotions. Because you go into an inspection, people are charged, oh my God, this, that. You set it all, and you have very realistic, you set these realistic expectations for them.